Well, it's good afternoon, even though it seems like good morning. And it seems like good morning because it's sort of gray and soft outside. We woke up to a thunderstorm. Uh, Not a bad one, but just nice rain. And then once in a while thunder. And of course Maggie has trouble with that, so she was hyperventilating. But we were sort of rejoicing. And we just sat around and visited and enjoyed the morning. Well, now the morning is past and we have to get on with life. So, a couple of weeks ago, we went to a yard sale and they had two new coffee pots, or looked like new, and one was $3 and one was $5. And I said, let's just buy them both. So we came home and we tried our $3 one, and the lid to the reservoir didn't quite work right, but Tom fixed that, and it makes a lot of noise. But after a couple of days, I just felt, I go back and forth on coffee and tea, and I just felt like it was tea season. So when we're ready, we have a brand new sort of $3 coffee pot to go to. But this morning I wanted to make, I've got some in bags, but I wanted to make a different kind because this is sort of a reminiscent morning. You know, I'm at 81, you talk about the good old days and things that happened before. So that's where I want to go. But I want a cup of tea before we start. And I got out my Peter Rabbit teas, and I want to make Mother Rabbit tea, which the recipe, which I'm modifying and changing, is 1 part lemon balm, mint, and chamomile, and 1/4 part lavender and passion flower. Well, I'm out of chamomile, so it has to be modified right there. But I'm going to change it, and remember the parts are better if we do it by grams. Well, I'm going to do it by ounces just because, yeah, I'm going to do it by ounces. Okay. Oops. No, yeah. There, I'm at ounces. And I'm going to start out with peppermint, and I'm going to make it 1 part, and I want it to be 8 ounces. So, we'll put in, boy, 8 ounces is going to be a lot. You know what? I might just start with 4 ounces. I think I'll do that. 4 ounce will be my part. I don't want to make a whole. Well, I keep getting, is that what, oh, wait just a minute. It has to say, you know what? That's a lot. I'm going to go back to grams. Okay. Maybe I wasn't on out. No, I was. Sorry about the glitch here. But that's how things work. Okay, we're on grams. I'm going to go to 8 grams. See what that does. Well, there's 7. This isn't going to make a whole lot. There's 8 grams. Yeah, I think that's wrong too. I think it'd be better with ounces. But we're there, so we're going to stick with that. We're just making a pot of tea. Okay, then I wanted the lemon balm. I had them all set out here so I'd really know. Okay, and I want to have a part of this, so I'm just going to put in 4 grams. Well, you know what? We're starting over. Oh no, I know why. Okay, I had it 8, now it's 10. I didn't tear it off. Okay, so I need to say 12. There. Okay, I'm going to tear it off now. Okay, we're down there. Because this time, I only want 2 grams of, you know what, I think the lavender I might put in a half, so that would be 4 grams. And I bet it weighs more than the others. Well, maybe it doesn't. There's one. Maybe I will. I'm just, okay, I'm going to just do the quarter. So there's 2 grams in there. And I'm going to do 2 of passion flower, which is a quarter part. Okay, that's it. Oh, and I've got some California poppy. I'm going to try it. It's going to have 2 grams. It's very relaxing with the lavender. Okay, we're just a little bit. It's not, okay, I don't know if you can see how much I made. Just a couple of big handfuls, maybe 3 handfuls. It's just like that. Okay, so that's going to be my tea. I've got some hot water going. I'm not going to bag it. I'm just going to put in loose. And I'm going to go in. We'll put in about that much. Okay, my water should be hot. And I'll go through what I did in case you want to do something like it. I put in 1 part of mint, a 1/2 part lemon balm, a 1/4 part lavender, passion flower, and California poppy. Okay, now I think I have hot water. Oh, I got hot water. We could even have a baby. I was born at home. I think they had, I was born in November. It was a cold night, but my dad got the house so hot that they had to open the door to get it cooled down. Okay. And maybe he had lots of hot water too. One thing they didn't have a scale. So when I was born, they took me into the kitchen and they grabbed a 10-pound bag of sugar and me in the other arm and said, she weighs 10 pounds. So, okay, we're going to go in the other room, and now I want to tell you some stories. And we'll let this steep a while, and here's and I'm going to tip this down because that's the kind of person I am. Okay, and I never counted on the window behind me. I don't know how this will turn out. Oh, we're going to go for it. I have a window behind me. I don't know if that will make it worse, better, or just how it'll do. But there. When my son took me this Mother's Day, we talked about a lot of things because we were together, and he told me you could get music on YouTube, and he said, just put in a year if you want, and you get that year's music. So I sort of did that, and of course it brings back some memories and whatnot. And so maybe that's what triggered this whole thing, and I'm going to go move that just a little bit because it wouldn't be one of my videos unless I did that. Okay, I think that's better. Now, I hope I'm in here. Well, maybe it doesn't matter, I am. So what I want to do, and this is not about my mother, but it's about my grandmother's. And I don't know if this is the thing to do on a video, but I want to read you a couple of things I wrote about my grandmother. So bear with me, or turn me off, let me loose. Okay, summertime meant a stay at Grandma's house. Those days were days to savor and hold. They still bring forth pleasant memories. Even the cool, dark pantry brings pleasurable pictures. The dim pantry held smells of many flavors in its long, narrow space, which was inviting on a hot summer's day. Its shelves held row upon row of foods and stuff, the exotic and the common, big plump raisins stored in glass, large sacks of sugar and flour, strange spices and teas, coffee and beans, cans and canisters, packages and lettered crates, string and books. My grandmother could always produce a hidden treasure off its dark shelves, not only foods for hungry appetites, but also food for thought, like the old book once owned by my father when he was a young boy. The book had a musty, moldy, ancient smell. I fingered the faded date written by bygone people, and then my father's name written in a feathery handwritten scroll. The book gave birth to awe and reverence, linking me to another age when Dad was a little boy. I treated the book with respect and honor, slowly and carefully turning its pages to study the pictures and the words. Grandmother shopped at a number of grocery stores and came home with meats and cheeses wrapped in white butcher paper, while sauerkraut, pickles, and cottage cheese with large creamy curds were packaged in various sized, wire-handled white cartons filled from barrels and crocks. Can any of you remember those? I doubt it. One afternoon on her porch, I sat eating my way to the bottom of one of those cartons of cottage cheese when a big, black, ugly fly came struggling up from the bottom through the curds. I didn't get sick, but I thought I would be. And even though all the previously eaten cottage cheese stayed properly in place, my tummy felt funny, and my enthusiasm for large curd cottage cheese was lost. It was years before I ate any kind of cottage cheese in any kind of container. The aromas of my grandmother's breakfast woke me up early morning. Stacks of cinnamon toast dripping with butter set next to a large white stoneware platter of crisp fried bacon competing for space with golden brown hot potatoes on the warming racks of the huge black wood stove trimmed with polished chrome, letting hot air rise through them, sending out spicy and seasoned smells. And at the back of the stove, the tall granite gray enameled coffee pot added its pert delicious essence. My grandmother commanded from the front of the stove, frying eggs and more thick sliced bacon she had cut fresh from a slab that morning. And the memory of those breakfasts has lasted a little girl a lifetime. In my marriage, twice in two different places we had cook wood stoves, and I do love food off of a wood stove. You just don't beat it. But I'm certainly glad I don't have to do that. Every Mother's Day was the beginning of strawberry shortcake season, a tradition. My grandmother was a quantity person, always fixing more than ample. So we had huge bowls full of partially crushed, juicy, sweet red strawberries and mountains of whipped cream set out to be ladled on light, flaky shortcakes. One Mother's Day, in addition to the shortcake, my grandmother bought a limb of ripe bananas for us grandchildren to pick. It was a great discovery for me that bananas grew upside down. Endless hours I spent playing under the cool shade of the weeping willows or flirting with the deliciously cool spray of the lawn sprinkler until I was running hilariously dripping wet and barefoot through the rainbow-tinted showers. The best times, though, were when my cousin and I stayed together at Grandma's. In the cool of the evening, we played hide and seek among the vines, through the darkening house, and even in the woodshed that in the overgrown back. Finally, when Grandmother insisted we be bathed and put to bed, we wore ourselves out, bouncing on the springs of the bed on the porch. We finally crawled in to our jumbled up bed, cozy among the summer vines, sending their perfume into the night, and drifted off to sleep, dreaming of another day. So, I want to tell you about my other grandmothers. Her reading is not so long, so bear with me. Okay, my other grandmother, my mother's mother, was our common grandmother, the one we saw and grew up with on a daily basis. She was always there. There were no traditions of strawberry shortcake at her house, but her table was set for good, honest eating. Her meals didn't begin in the kitchen. They began in her gardens. She gardened all her life. She cooked, preserved, canned, and pickled. Her table was full. I look forward to her fried grape pies. Have you ever eaten one of those? I bet not like my grandmother made. Never knowing when I might be favored with a delectable dish, warm, sweet, purple, thick juice leaking out over its crisp, flavorful crust. Occasionally, when I walked to her house for lunch during the school noon recess, and one of her pies would appear on my plate, I knew my world was wonderful and full and more blessed than any of my peers. This grandmother never threw things away. I must be like her, but saved them for another day. Her unused bedrooms were filled with old, dark, and walnut dressers and buffets and treasure troves. I was allowed to explore and poke among the stuffed drawers to my heart's content, discovering flowers made of thin, delicate, pastel-colored glass, tarnished silver spoons, glass eyes once stuffed in a dusty feathered owl, costly gold bracelets fashioned with genuine jewels that I was allowed to keep and I still treasure today. Other finds were tuneless harmonicas, mismatched buttons, jigsaw puzzles with missing pieces, musty old comic books, and copies of True Confessions. Whistles and pipes, strange foreign coins, pennies turned green, shiny tokens and political buttons, small flags and large blanket pins, and hours of imagination. My grandmother never lost her southern accent, ways, and words. She washed dishes in her zinc, not sink. Fried okra and corn, planted her gardens to the cycle of the moon, and Good Friday knew a remedy for every ill, wore a crown of silver braids that fell below her knees when uncoiled. She lived quietly and simply, yet with a sparkle that emanated from the depths of her violet blue eyes. She lived all the days of her life. God bless her life. So that's my reminiscence. And does that bring back memories of your grandmothers? Are you grandmothers? See what you're doing for your grandchildren? That's nice, isn't it? Well, let's have a cup of tea and see what I have here. It might not have seeped long enough, but we'll see. No, well, it's coming out a bit of color. Yes, it is. It can stip. You can pour your own. I can't reach you. Hot. But it does, it has a nice flavor. Very hot. I think I shouldn't have done that. Oh dear. Anyway, a bit of honey would be really, really sweet in it. So, I'm going to leave you till your cup of tea, and thank you for being with me today and letting me do this. So down memory lane, and off we go to meet our day now, in the real now.